sheriff sales. That's what we're talking now. Yeehaw! So now, I'm imagining, Andrea, that means, is that a piece of property that, that are split, didn't pay their taxes?
Sheriff sales, usually on a sheriff sale, the buyer will go to the court and bid at the sheriff sale.
All right.
But instead of taking this property, because the sheriff says you have to put like $10,000 down, you have to pay the back taxes, like the tax proration that they were going to do.
All right.
But people are still not comfortable. I mean, if you're buying a sheriff sale and it's $300,000 and you're like, well, how am I know everything's clear?
Okay, right.
So they still want a title company to do that title search, and also you can still take a mortgage on a sheriff sale. So you're going to need a title company to be able to do that escrow service and that title service.
Now, to be clear, this is the person. You're not doing this on behalf of the county or the sheriff's office. You're doing this on behalf of the person who's thinking about buying that.
Yes.
So that stuff can, and I've never been to a sheriff's sale. I'm thinking of something where you put up your hand, you bought it, but you got to do all that stuff ahead of time.
The consumer will go to the sheriff's sale when they're having auctions at the courthouse.
Okay.
The consumer will go.
All right.
And if they get the property on a sheriff's sale, they're still going to want that title insurance.
Okay, yeah.
I've had...
If they don't get good news back, though, I mean, if there's all sorts of liens or something wrong with a property, are they stuck with it, or can they
no.
say, Mr. Sheriff, give me my money back?
There was a foreclosure prior to that on the sheriff's sale.
Okay, all right.
So we make sure everybody was entered into the foreclosure.
Okay,
the sheriff's
gotcha.
going to get their money first.
Okay.
It's always the taxes first.
That's been done already. Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That's already been done. But you still want to make sure you have a title insurance on that. So if you're taking out a mortgage, the mortgage company's not going to give a consumer the money. They want to make sure there's a third party involved to be able to disperse the money, and also make sure that title is clear as well.
Okay, all right.
They're just a little bit different. Instead of doing everything at, filing and then dispersing, they're just a little bit backwards. We have to pay the sheriff before we actually get the deed. So, and I also had a incident where somebody went to a sheriff's sale, bought a duplex. The duplex was on 2 different parcels. So they didn't realize during the foreclosure it was 2 parcels.
Well, to be clear, so they bought a duplex. It was on 2 different pieces of land, so they...
Yes, there was 2 parcels, so the duplex was on 2 different parcels. It was a duplex, but there's 2. So when they did the sheriff's sale to foreclose, they only included 1 parcel.
Oh, that's probably not good news if you pay for buildings on somebody else's land, right?
So I had a consumer call me after the fact. He bought the property at sheriff's sale, did not get a title company. He only owned half the duplex. That's an example of not getting title insurance.
And that's what you've figured out for him. You only have that. And there's what I'm sort of curious what kind of person do that other than talk to the owner and say, will you sell me it, the other half? And of course, you're going to want a lot because your house is on my land, dude. No, move your house. Get it out.
Yes. In that case, he had to go back and, back to the attorneys. And even though the mortgage company, so originally when that mortgage was done, whoever did the title search back then did not pick up both of those parcels and only transferred 1 piece.
So again, that's another reason, you want a title search done before you do anything crazy, because it's actually possible that your duplex, you only own half the land it's sitting on. That's pretty crazy.
It's not common.
Yeah.
But things like that do exist.
And I'm curious, within sheriff sales, again, I'm always, maybe I'm stereotyping of thinking the type of property that, that came into it's a sheriff sale. Is there a lot of that kind of weirdness in terms of who owns a property, what's going on there, and what may be,
not on all transactions.
Okay.
But there may be property that was, your grandpa's property years and years, and it just kept getting inherited.
Yeah.
Just transferred. And then maybe somebody doesn't even know they own the property, and then nobody paid taxes. So then it went to foreclosure.
Okay.
And then it went to sheriff's sale.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, not all properties are like that, but there are cases where things did get missed back in the day.
But another good reason, once again, you keep saying it comes back to title searches and all that, but that's why.
Yes.
They're important.
Yes, people do make mistakes back in the day. They you got to cover. That's what it is.
And if you don't make sure of the title insurance and you're buying that property, you get to pay for that mistake. So,
yes.
So better to pay for some title insurance.
Yes.